some fucking bitch, man, disturbs me in the morning. 5 something in the morning, you fucking shaitan, man. Fucking shaitan, man. Disturb me right when I'm doing this filming, speaking to the rest of you truth. And fucking disturbs me, man. And it's 5 something in the morning. You lousy talk, probably arranged by the Singapore intelligence, who's a former maid in Singapore, who has a lot of sexual knowledge. Lousy fucking, stuff for the law, man. Let me finish what I'm doing. Normally she doesn't call this early. She knows what time it is. I told her to bloody count 2 hours back and then go to the opposite end of the clock. And you know what time it is. How many times I tell you, leave me alone, So the thing is, what I'm telling you is these people are qualified as munafiq. I'm in no position even to make salat the way I am. I pee all in my clothes. I have urine incontinence. I can't hold my water. I stink, smell like 20 horses. And I came here last night to wash, but I discovered with all of this, I've been going through all this, as I told you, the Boston bomber's wife will be treated and has been treated very well by authorities. One of the boys that tried to hide some evidence belonging to the youngest Asaraf, who's been in custody. The thing is, he's been released on a $100,000 bail immediately, quick. My case, I wasn't even granted bail when I was arrested for making a false statement for a passport application with 1995. When I was arrested in 2005, I wasn't even granted bail. And it took so long to get around to a bail hearing. They wanted $200,000 bail. The only other arrest I had before that was for a telephone bill. This was at the behest of senior master detective, Seattle, Washington, Glenn Kearns, as well as Chief Gil Kurlikowski, as well as U.S. Senator Patty Murray. These were some of the salient characters involved, including Representative Congressman Jim McDermott, Jim White Top Hair McDermott, who's probably still up there in Washington State. These are people that are supposed to be democratic, liberal, who did this to me, who allowed this to me to happen, if not outright did it. And Armis Dumet, I think she was Patty Murray's assistant, because I remember a blonde-haired woman, I will never forget it, when I greeted Chief Gil Kurlikowski, patted him on the shoulder, held him on the shoulder, and guided him to the room where Carl Mack was being officiated and welcomed or sent off into retiring or leaving the position of director of the NAACP of Seattle, Washington. Carl Mack was going to be the president of the National Council or whatever, black engineers. Carl Mack, who said, Adam, you know what you did, just fess up to it. You know what you did. Just fess up to it, Adam. You know what you did. And Carl Mack is what we would call in old derogatory terms, high yellow, not yellow belly, but high yellow in skin complexion, which they always want to represent us. We don't need these people to represent us anymore. Though we are appreciative of Adam Clayton Powell, Ralph Bunchy, the developer, people work with blood plasma and all the other stuff, the great, great genius that these people have offered from our ethnic. We don't need them to represent us ethnically anymore. We don't need that, actually. Brother Malcolm Little, actually known as, he is nothing little about him, Malcolm X, and others. We don't need what they call red bone and high yellow to represent Afro-Americans, that is the ideal of Afro-Americans. We don't need that. See, a lot of Anglo-America, Anglo-Saxon America, ethnicity prefers to deal with that because they're so bigoted. They can't stand to look at people with Afro faces. They don't like it to interface with people with purely Afro features. It bothers them. It makes them writhe and wiggle. It makes them uncomfortable. So Singapore intelligence, due to contacting, because I've been trying matrimonial services to get married, and I'm backtracking, I'm retrogressing now. The reason why I'm going through this, I found out by process of elimination, speaking to Caucasian, Anglo-Celtic, Irish, Scots-Irish, English converts, that they've had no problems post-September 11. But mostly it's because I am too dark, black and African looking, and there was a movement within the FBI and other intelligence law enforcement apparatuses connected the Defense Department as well to curtail the civil rights gains that Afro-Americans made post-Civil War as well as 1960s era. They want to repeal them using the war on terrorism. So I'm finding out that this is because I'm black. As the Singapore intelligence told me, you're going through this slapping and beating because you're black, you know? So the thing is, the woman that I'm talking to that calls from Indonesia who's a maid, Aki, it's like they're saying that I'm a slave and I only can marry someone of that level. That's who I really deserve. And anybody that's decent and pure, you know, and forget about decent and pure body and vagina and all that, but who's not a maid or a servant, you don't deserve to marry up. You know, we deserve to marry the lowest because you are the lowest. It's a discreet slight, you know, ever so discreet and indirect. It's oblique. So she calls at odd hours, and I've told her, you know, when to call, and don't call my mother at all, you know, at odd, ungodly hour, as they would say. As one Englishman who ran Aerospatiale or in Singapore or something like that, represented Aerospatiale at the time, Eurocopter, when I called him after 8 at night or close to 9, that man was pissed. That man was so angry. Boy, without using any profanity, that man let me have the business about calling at an ungodly hour. So I would know that. Since then, I never did that again. I never called anybody after 8. Or close to 8 in the evening, Aki. Yeah, I learned my lesson. That man, he was an Englishman, and he was pissed. He was polite and yet pissed, Aki, at the same time, huh? That man was mad. He probably was digging in some local woman over there. A lot of them get a pension for local pussy or vagina or pudani. Boom, boom. So to give you a clue also, I've tried numerous matrimonial services, and they've had all kinds of sick people running around trying to impress negative vibration into me. You talking loud, but loud enough for me to hear, but not to be able to see anything. You know, within earshot distance. You know, oh yeah, because the guy uses social media, and then come to which is called Munch Haven in San Francisco, a little cafe that I go to, Munch on Market Street, just near the San Francisco main public library, called Munch, M-U-N-C-H, Haven, H-A-V-E-N. Have people come there and say, yeah, the guy's got anger issues, man. He got to really do something about that anger, that rage, man, the anger. And this is a goddamn lie. If I were angry, you would be all lying in rubber and blood. You'd be dead out. Yeah, trust me, I'm not angry, Aki. But what I am is discontented, Aki, and I have a grievance. And that grievance, I will present it in the legitimate, legal, bona fide venue, which is called a court, you idiots. A court. Something that you idiots, you know, within the intelligence and law enforcement apparatus don't understand but claim to respect. So what happened is, long story short, another guy came to Munch Haven, a young guy, said, yeah, you know, that's how these guys are. And he was talking to an Afro-American. You know, he abuses social media. You know, he's been using social media in Asia to mess up with women or something, or bilk women out their money, or to cheat or to con women. You're a goddamn slanted-eyed liar. Yes, look at my face. I said, you're a goddamn slanted-eyed liar. This guy was of Asian ancestry. I don't know who sent these people, man, to Munch Haven, man, but it really, as I was drinking my cup of coffee or eating into my eggs, you know, and my red potatoes, I was fuming. To hear this, I was fuming, man, because it had too much similarity to what I was going through. So they would send people to create mental trauma or another point of angst, another point of prick, you know, towards you, to build that up, to make a compounded case against a person, or to create one within you, the target subject. They do this kind of filth. This is J. Edgar Hoover kind of filth. May God curse him and broil his soul. As I'm saying it now, may he throw some more torment on J. Edgar Hoover. And as far as my father, may God relieve him of any suffering that he may be witnessing or seeing in reference to his life. So my father thought he knew everything. He was also ignorant. He was ignorant of many realities. And I asked God, which I, being Muslim, believe to be Allah, or Allah, which means actually in Arabic, the one and only solitary, imperceivable creator, which you would call God the Father. I asked God to please grant my father an exit and to forgive him and to give him clemency until the day of judgment. Forgive him in his state that he's in right now. Ameen, O Lord. Ameen, 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 which means Amen, Amen.